Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Tony here. We're in Studio E. We have the Elvis light lit. You can see behind me. We also have the black and blue gatefold open up to the back so you can see the full gatefold. We're going to talk about the Stones in this segment. And before I start, we have Elvis is in another costume. Maybe he's trying to do a Colonel Parker, Tom Parker look. He's got the big jowls. So he's getting ready for Halloween, and I hope everyone has a great Halloween if we don't see each other. All you kids out there, stay safe, and at night wear white, which is from a Stones album, if you guys remember. Maybe Let It Bleed or Beggar's Banquet back in the day, before a lot of you were born. So anyway, this is a Stones segment because I'm getting into the Stones now. Just ordered the 5 LP deluxe box set of Black and Blue, with a Steven Wilson cut, a live album of I think in Paris. I'm not sure. I talked about it. So we're going to talk about the Stones, but we're going to talk about specifically the first 3 albums that Ronnie Wood was on. Now we all know Ronnie Wood started out with this Black and Blue record. He was kind of a guest on this. He wasn't official member, but then he became an official member because they actually put him on the cover. I believe he's only on a few tracks on this. There's a lot of great guitar players on here, but Ronnie Wood's debut from the Stones, and then he did an album with them live, which is Love You Live, which I highly recommend if you don't have it. Sounds great, and by the way, this Black and Blue I have is a Lee Halko cut from Sterling Sound. Just fantastic, one of the best sounding Stones album. And as a matter of fact, these 3 Stones albums that I'm going to talk about in a row. Now, if you look up Stones discography, this album always doesn't come up because it's not considered a studio album. Not considered a studio album because it isn't a studio album. It's a live album. One of my favorite live Stones records. I have them all. This is Love You Live. Now, this is at the El Mambo Club in Toronto. And there's also a record here that's from a venue in Paris. So this is Ron Wood's first real Stones album because he's on the whole album. And this cover is an Andy Warhol cover. And if you can see, it's kind of weird because they're biting each other. It's kind of cannibalistic. Love You Live, and they're doing all this weird stuff you could see. And the text was put on by Mick Jagger. This text was not part of the original painting. He was kind of upset that Mick put on the Warhol was kind of upset that Mick put on these lyrics, the records on the back, and this cover. He didn't really like that. He talked about that in some of his books. So anyway, great album. Ronnie Wood's all over this. This is a live record. And the last one of my 3 I'm talking about is a super sounding great record. And here you have a sealed copy of Some Girls with the original jacket. There's all different variants on the covers. I think there's 5 or 4 variants of these colors. And this is the original. This was banned because, as you know, the Stones did not have permission from Raquel Welch, Lucille Ball, Brigitte Bardot, whoever else was on here, Farrah Fawcett. They did not get permission from their agents or from the girls themselves, and they were actually sued, and they pulled the record. So subsequent records, which I'll show you, do not have the die cut with the girls, the famous celebrity women, actresses, singers that are on this record. Here is a copy that is interesting because it is just a solid copy. It's not a die cut copy. See that? That's not a die cut copy. This is another reissue. And here is the inner. This is what the inner looked like of the reissue. And you can see the guys are in drag. And I'll show you my open copy, which I have open. And this is the subsequent pressing. They all sound great. These are all great. Don't know who mastered this one, but I do know my Black and Blue is Lee Halko. And I also have a Japanese pressing that I got from Big John. Thank you, Big John. It's slightly under my domestic pressings. My domestic pressings are just unbelievable. Black and Blue is one, in my opinion, a great Sound and Stones record. I'm not going to say it's the best Sound and Stones record because a lot of Stones records did sound really, really good sonically. But here is the die cut with the inner, and you can see the inner slides, which I showed before. And here is the LP. This is a pink LP. This is an import. I believe this is from France. But the domestics die cut are the same with those black record, but with the same inner as this. So you slide it into the die cut. And this is the die cut without the inner. And I believe there's also a lyric sheet in this one. There's a lyric sheet, which is nice, hard cardboard. But these are the first Ron Wood records. Ron Wood, Black and Blue, Love You Live, he's all over that. Black and Blue is on a few tracks. Of course, he's on the entire Some Girls. Now, this is a unbelievable, in a couple of years, 3 records, actually 4 records, because Love You Live is a double record, but it's a live album. So when you look up the Stones discography, you will not see that record in the order that I just showed it. You will see Tattoo You after this record, Some Girls, which Ron Wood, of course, is on that record. So sound-wise, these are excellent. I recommend you get this. I'm going to talk a little bit about Black and Blue. I put it on the other day because in anticipation of getting that box set, and it just blew me away. I probably didn't listen to it in about a year. It's one of my go-to Stones records that I constantly play. I wish I had more time to play all my Stones records, but there's so much in the pipeline now. There's so much good stuff coming out that it's very difficult. And there's the cover with the insert in that, the reissue insert. The real insert, of course, is that, and this has the great hype sticker, Miss You. So Ronnie Wood's all over, of course. Some Girls, he's only on a few tracks for Black and Blue, but they put him on the cover because he had made the band. A lot of people were considered for that, even, I believe, Eric Clapton. On the new box set, we will get some Stones with Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck was actually considered, and I don't think that would have been a good fit, Jeff Beck with the Rolling Stones. So you let me know what you think. This is interesting. This is a black and white insert, the reissue insert with black vinyl. I'm getting these mixed up here. But this video was basically to show you and recommend that you pick up, if you don't have Black and Blue, at least get the new reissue that's coming out. I know it's a double record, and I think there's a single record. Maybe the Steven Wilson is available only in the box set or whatever. I talked about it, but there's so much stuff coming out. You just check that website. But, you know, it's going to be monumental. This Stones record is underrated. It didn't sell as much as Stones records before that, but I think it caught up. I think it's probably triple platinum or whatever, I'm sure, at this point. And by the way, as far as Lee Halko mastering the album, it also has an RL heritage, because in '94 the CD was reissued by Virgin Records, and the great mastering engineer Robert Ludwig mastered that. I might have that CD. I didn't pull my CDs. I have to go check. So that's going to be a really cool one. If you don't have the record, I'm sure that CD sounds great, mastered by Robert Ludwig. I'm going to show you this again and go over some of the tracks. Tumbling Dice, Fingerprint File, You Gotta Move. You can't always get what you want. That's from Paris. That's on record 1, side 1 and side 2. Honky Tonk Woman, If You Don't Rock Me, If You Can't Rock Me, Get Off My Cloud, Happy, Hot Stuff, Star Star. Then on side 3, we have El Mambo, the Manish Boy, Cracking Up, Little Red Rooster, Around and Round. And then on side 4, which I believe is a California venue, so it's actually 3 venues on this, I believe, is It's Only Rock and Roll, Brown Sugar, and the like. Let me just see. Yeah, so pretty good stuff. Here is the actual vinyl, and of course, like I said, Andy Warhol. The inners are just this on both sides, both inners. Kind of weird. I believe Andy Warhol probably did those as well, since he was contracted to do that. And here is the other one's green. Great colors, like vibrant colors, similar to Nevermind the Bollocks, the great Sex Pistols record that came out a few years before this on Virgin Records. Here's the tracks there. And let me just see for a second. Love You Live. Okay, Love You Live was released on or in 1977, right after Some Girl, right after Black and Blue. It's drawn from the tour of the Americas in the summer of 1975. So you have Love You Live was overdubbed and mixed from late May to mid-June 77, released in September of 77. Album was well received and managed to peak at 3 in the UK and 5 in the US, where it went gold. I remember really looking for this record when it came out, and I was able to get a copy the month after or so when it came out. Now we have Toronto's El Macambo Club. We have, let me see. Okay, so recorded at Maple Leafs Gardens in Toronto, Inglewood Forum in Los Angeles, Earl's Court in London, Les Abattoirs in Paris, and El Mambo Tavern in Toronto. So there's more venues than I thought. You know, when you just look these things up quickly with the AI, it simplifies it. But that's the bottom line. This was recorded. Was released on September 23rd in America, 77. And these are the tracks. These are the time is 83 minutes, so it's a really full album. Sounds great. It's kind of high fidelity. Of course, Some Girls and the Stones, you know, Black and Blue just sounds off the charts. But I love this record. You get to hear the Stones in different venues, in small clubs, a small arena like the Maple Leaf Gardens, Earl's Court in London, which I was never there. I wish I passed it when I went to London, passed it, but I haven't been there. I know, great venue for the Floyd. So many bands like Genesis, so many British bands. El Mambo was recorded at the El Mambo Tavern, it's called, in Toronto on March 5th, 1977. Paris was 5 to 7 June 76, and Earl's Court was May 27, 76. The Los Angeles Forum, basically North America and the Americas, June 17, 1975. So here you have it. This is my Japanese copy, which does have the original insert, the American insert, has lyrics in Japanese, and it's just a great sounding record. But it doesn't beat, in my opinion, my original Black and Blue. So there you have it. Don't forget, box sets coming out. This is why I'm doing this video in a way, because I've been getting into my Stone. So keep rocking. Let me know what you think about these three records. Love You Live is just a great live album. You're hearing them in all sorts of venues, and they're kicking ass. And I think Mick and Keith kind of fought over what to include in this, and I think the blues section of this one with Little Red Rooster, and let me see what else is on here. Little Red Rooster, Manish Boy, Cracking Up, Around and Round. That's out the El Mambo. I think that's basically Keith's side. If I would guess, I would think Keith would pick the blues and the Chuck Berry tune, Around and Round. So keep rocking. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you feel the urge. Subscriptions are free. Doesn't cost you anything. Really helps us out. So talk to you soon. Keep rocking, and we'll see you later. Bye.